In the tapestry of Christian devotion, few prayers are as universally known as the Lord's Prayer. Yet for many, its words are recited more as ritual than revelation. The transcript provided exemplifies a modern approach to teaching this prayer, using a combination of emotive storytelling, spiritual encouragement, and practical application. Its success lies in its ability to make a timeless text feel immediate and transformative. It engages viewers by framing the prayer not as a mere formality, but as a potent spiritual strategy, a battle plan, as the presenter puts it, which is both accessible and profound. This approach works because it bridges the gap between historical and personal relevance. The speaker invites listeners to see themselves as active participants in a divine narrative, rather than passive observers. The emphasis on understanding, feeling, and living the prayer resonates with contemporary audiences who seek practical spirituality rather than abstract theology. From a historical perspective, the Lord's Prayer appears in the Gospels of Matthew 6:9-13 and Luke 11:2-4, embedded within Jesus' teachings on piety and prayer. Scholars note that its structure combines petitions for God's glory, the believer's needs, and ethical living. The prayer reflects Second Temple Judaism's spiritual sensibilities, emphasizing God's holiness, communal responsibility, and eschatological hope. Theologically, it demonstrates several enduring principles: God's immanence and transcendence. The address, Father in Heaven, captures the tension between divine intimacy and majesty. Ethical imperatives. Honoring God's name and forgiving others are not merely devotional acts, but transformative practices shaping the believer's life. Soteriological orientation. Praying for deliverance and alignment with God's will reflects the believer's dependence on divine grace for moral and spiritual formation. Eschatological awareness. The kingdom-focused petitions anticipate both present and future dimensions of God's reign. As we move deeper into the Lord's Prayer, it becomes evident that Jesus' instruction was not merely a casual or ritualistic recommendation. The prayer is both revolutionary in its theological structure and radical in its relational implications. To fully grasp its significance, we must situate it in the historical, social, and religious context of first-century Judea, where Jesus first taught this prayer. 1. Our Father in Heaven, the radical intimacy of God. The opening phrase, Our Father in Heaven, is deceptively simple, yet its theological implications are profound. In the Jewish context, God was frequently invoked as Yahweh, Adonai, or Elohim, titles emphasizing sovereignty, holiness, and transcendence. Rarely did Jewish prayers frame God as a paternal figure in the intimate sense that Jesus presents. To call God Father was revolutionary because it invited believers into a familial relationship with the divine rather than positioning them as mere subjects or supplicants. Historically, patriarchal structures dominated the societal imagination. Fathers wielded authority, but they could also be distant or harsh. Jesus' use of Father thus reframes authority. God's power is coupled with love, care, and accessibility. By invoking heaven, the prayer situates this intimacy within the realm of divine transcendence. God is near in relationship but sovereign in nature. This duality, a God who is both immanent and transcendent, becomes a central pillar for understanding prayer as relational and transformational. From a theological perspective, this framing challenges the traditional human perception of God. If we truly internalize the idea that we are children speaking to a loving Father, prayer becomes less about ritual compliance or fear of judgment, and more about active dialogue with one who knows, cares, and acts on our behalf.